Okay, let's be real, people. This was the absolute worst season finale in the history of The Walking Dead. So that would be out of 9 season finales because we're up to 9 seasons and season 10 is coming. So out of all of them, this is definitely the worst one by far. And I'm not your typical Walking Dead hater. Oh, I'm just hating on the show. Check out my last video regarding the Walking Dead TV series. I said this is one of the best episodes they ever did, the one with the Pike. This I couldn't get behind. I was so bored and so underwhelmed. I thought this was a season finale. What the hell are they doing? It was just so slow and boring. Don't get me wrong, there were a few, interesting, cool things that happened, like Negan saving Judith, and, you had a few other things going on there. But now that I think about it, that was really like the only cool thing that happened. Okay, Alpha, the war is coming. Alpha and Beta were teasing that the war was coming. They were crossing the Whisperer's border. Like, yeah, obviously that was going to happen eventually. And these are just things that just like seem, fine. Like on its own, it would be a good episode, but as a season finale, I gotta raise the bar a little bit. Like my standards have to be a bit higher than what I would usually do for a normal episode. So as a normal episode, this episode would be fine. It would be good. But as a season finale, it was absolutely terrible. Okay? And this is coming from someone that praised the last episode, that has overall been, okay with season 9, actually. I thought season 9 was a good season overall, although the season finale kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But I thought season 9 was a hell of a lot better than season 4. But at least season 4, despite the second half of season 4 being some of the worst, just awful, awful, awful writing. I just hated the second half of season 4, and I absolutely hated the first half of season 5. Just a total waste of everybody's time. But at least season 4 had a great season finale. So let's go through all the season finales. I'm going to talk about why they were all great and why this one was absolutely terrible. All right, so the finale of season 1 was the CDC lab blowing up at the end. Dr. Jenner killing himself and Jockey also killing herself with Edwin Jenner, and that was pretty much the finale of season 1. The lab blew up, and the whole group was trying to find a new place to go after the CDC lab blew up, and they had no idea where to go because their camp was long overrun and they were just lost. Again, I would say it was a little bit underwhelming. However, the season 1 was kind of like a test run for the show. They didn't really know how far the show would go. It was a high production value. That's why they only had 6 episodes. So you could tell they planned a second season, but they didn't really go all out because they still weren't sure if the second season was going to even happen. So I'll give season 1 a little bit of slack. I still think it was a better season finale than what we got from season 9. But overall, it was a good season finale. Season 2 is one of my personal favorite season finales of the series. We had the whole season pretty much taking part in the barn, and that had a lot to do with trying to get character development, focusing more on the human aspect of the zombie aspect, because season 1 was all about getting used to the apocalypse and the zombies and trying to figure out how to survive. And season 2 focused so much on the humanity aspect of it. It was all about character development, the conflict between Rick and Shane, and it was overall, a lot of people felt like it was less of a zombie apocalypse horror survival show, and it was more of like a human, like a drama basically. And it kind of lost its roots in season 2, but I still thought season 2 was good. The walkers were still part of the show, especially with the barn. That was amazing. So I thought season 2 was great, and I thought it was a good thing that they did focus a lot more on character development, because it truly defined The Walking Dead as more of less than just your typical horror TV show where it's, the zombies, we gotta run away, it's so scary. There are a lot of human aspects to it. I think the finale of season 2, again, I think would probably be my overall favorite. That barn blowing up and them trying to escape. Actually, I would say would be my second favorite, next to, I would say, season 6, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. Overall, though, I think season 2 was a great season finale, and it was a great way of ending it because, like season 1, you wanted to know what was going to happen next. It left you hooked, seeing like, oh my god, I gotta find out what happens in season 3, and that's what a season finale is supposed to do. Oh, season 3. This was the season that really got me into this show. I have so many fond memories. This was really when I was pretty much the most hooked to this show that I ever have been. I was just always waiting for the next episode, always anticipate every Sunday night. Not saying that I'm not anymore, but that was really the height of that feeling, that experience for me. The dynamic between the Rick's group and the Governor's group, going shop by shop between between Woodbury and the prison. The Walking Dead season 3, like season 2, focused a lot on the human aspect of things, and it was the first human conflict war between two different groups. And I know a lot of people didn't like the way that the Governor was written, and overall weren't a fan of that whole storyline. But I think the season finale of 3 was a great way to end the season, and it wanted you to find out what was going to happen next. The Governor was still alive at the end of the season, and he was still out there. We didn't know what was going to happen, but you had a lot of other interesting things going on. Andrea was captured by the Governor in the previous episode. She tried to come back to the prison after realizing the Governor is batshit insane and I need to go back to my people, to Rick and everyone else. But she was too late. The Governor captured her. That whole episode was pretty much about the Governor and Andrea and the whole chase. Governor eventually got to her, and Governor decided to kill Milton, or, well, try to kill both of them, really. So, as you can see in this picture, Andrea was tied down, and Milton, who was the Governor's right-hand man, he was the one with the glasses, I don't know if you guys remember him, but he was pretty much killed by the Governor. He was still alive, but he was eventually going to die in turn, and the idea was he would bite and kill Andrea. And he eventually did, but that whole suspense, that entire episode, not knowing if she was going to live or die, and for her to actually die, which shocked a lot of people because that strayed way too far away from the comics. I believe Andrea just recently died in the comics, like about a year ago, and in season 3 she died. So a lot of people weren't happy about that. They wanted Rick and Andrea or whatever, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And I know the actress Laurie Holden was very disappointed by the writing of The Walking Dead and how they killed her off, but that was another aspect of it. And the war. I know a lot of people were disappointed because the Governor went to attack the prison, and Rick and the whole group decided to just leave the prison and wait until the Governor left or gave up or whatever. But I overall thought it was good, especially the Governor mowing down everyone and killing them all after they decided to leave. But I think what they eventually did with Maggie and Glenn attacking the Governor's group single-handedly and that whole thing, I think it was good, and it eventually paid off at the mid-season finale of season 4. And I overall thought this was a great season finale. You didn't know what was going to happen with the Governor. The Governor just went completely insane. Everyone in Woodbury was killed, so Woodbury was gone. And overall, it was a great end to a great season, in my opinion. And that's how season finale should be done. Anticipation. This is what I'm trying to get at here. You want to know what happens next. Governor's still in the loose. What's going to happen next season? You want people to be invested in your show, into the future of the show, to be able to want to watch the season premiere of the next season. Like I said earlier in this video and in previous videos, I absolutely hated the second half of season 4, but that season finale was amazing. Rick and everyone finally reunited. Everyone who was split up finally got back together after a long, drawn-out thing where they were all going down the train tracks, the railroad tracks, to find Terminus, and I really didn't like that part of the season. I thought the first half of season 4 was brilliant, was amazing, with the Governor and the tank and Herschel getting beheaded and all that. But, oh man, the second half of season 4 was brutal to sit through every night. It was not good. Every Sunday night. It was more of a chore than an enjoyment to watch these episodes. They were just too drawn out, and I really had no interest in the character development they were trying to go through. Like, they did it well in season 2, but in season 4 was just, you could tell that they were just trying to kill time, and that season was not meant to have 16 episodes. But Terminus, oh man, it finally, I'm kind of disappointed that it didn't last longer, but that season finale where they all got locked into the train, and you pretty much expected them to be cannibal food, pretty much. You didn't know what the hell was going to happen, how the hell they were going to get out of Terminus, because it was pretty locked down, and they were pretty much prisoners in a camp full of crazy cannibals, essentially. And it was a great season finale. I loved it, and I wanted to know what was going to happen in the season 5 premiere. So they did a great job with 4. Season 5, another great finale. It was when Rick killed Pete, Jesse's husband. I know a lot of people forgot about Jesse because she was Rick's love interest, but didn't last too long. That season, the mid-season finale where Carl lost his eye, Jesse got devoured by walkers, and all that. I think Jesse could have lasted longer, but for some reason they decided Jesse was not the future of the show, that Rick was going to eventually be in a romance with Michonne, which I thought was kind of random and didn't really make much sense to me, but hey, they got a baby, so I guess it worked out. But that season 5 finale, Rick kills Pete, gives a whole speech about how he's going to save the people of Alexandria. It's like, it brings me back to that scene in season 2 where it's like, this is not a democracy. Rick always gives great speeches, and I thought, man, that ending to season 5 was great. And that, because Rick killed Pete because Deanna, I believe that was her name, she was the leader of Alexandria. Pete, in a rage, killed Deanna's husband, sliced his throat, and that whole thing was crazy. But it was just a amazing scene, amazing ending of season 5, and I thought that was another great ending. And you wanted to know what was going to happen in season 6. Was Rick going to eventually take over as leader of Alexandria? What was going to happen? And it was overall a great finale. And do I even need to say anything about the season finale of season 6? Everybody was talking about the season finale of season 6. Everybody was talking about it. Who the hell did Negan kill? It was great. I know people were pissed off about the cliffhanger, like, oh, it's why did they hide it? Why didn't they reveal it? We have to wait until the season premiere. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great television. I thought it was great. And everyone had theories. Everyone was posting theories about who got killed. Was it Glenn? Was it Abraham? Turned out to be both, but some people thought, oh, maybe it's Daryl, maybe it's Maggie. Who could it be? That was honestly the height of the series. Everyone was talking about it more than anything else that's ever happened in the entire show. And that's how you end a season, trying to find out what happens next. Season 7, the start of all-out war. Oh man, the finale. Definitely want to know what was going to happen in the next episode. The conflict between the Saviors and the whatever you want to call them, the Alexandria Kingdom and Hilltop, the war between those two factions. What was going to happen? How was season 8 going to start? Because the end of season 7 was brilliant, with Sasha being in the coffin, and Shiva, Negan was about to kill Carl, and Shiva came in and saved the day, and it was just all-out war started to happen, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and that's how you end a season, is by giving people a reason to give a shit about the next season. Season 8 was another great season finale, the end of All Out War. People felt like it was dragged out, and the war was going to last forever. But I think it was appropriate for the war to last an entire season. That way it wasn't rushed, and you got everything out there. Rick sparing Negan like he did in the comic books, and Negan becoming a prisoner, and all that stuff happening, I thought was great. I thought that it was overall a great finale, and now that the war was over, what was going to happen next? But with this season finale, they completely got rid of all that because in the previous seasons they all followed a flow. At the end, they had something that happened, whether it was a conflict being resolved or something just starting to happen, like with Negan in season 6. They gave you a reason to want to care about the next episode, and wanting to wait all that time and spending all that time wondering what was going to happen and being excited for the next season. They gave you no reason to do that at all in this season. This season finale, it felt like a regular episode. It didn't feel special. It was like I said, it was a good episode, but as a season finale, it just completely fell flat because a lot of it was centered around this radio, which we all knew was going to be a big part of the season finale and a big part of the series overall. All the groups are able to communicate with each other, and then at the end, communication comes in, and I guess the cliffhanger is who was it? Was it Rick? Was it Maggie? You couldn't even tell who the voice was, and I guess you somehow was supposed to care about that. Like, what? Why should we care? If it was Rick, we know he's never coming back to the show. He's never coming back to the TV series. He's doing his movies. And Maggie, when she comes back, she'll be part-time. So why should we care? Why should we be invested in this? Terrible. Just terrible end. Not a great season finale. And I find myself very disappointed. Not as much disappointed as I was in the Telltale Game season finale, because that was the final season and it was just terrible. What a shitty way to end the iconic Walking Dead game series. Not a great end to Clementine's story. Not a great end to the game series at all. Very disappointing. And when it comes to the finale of season 9, it is the same. But at least there's going to be a season 10. There ain't going to be another season of the Telltale Game, unfortunately. But I found myself very disappointed in this. I was more hyped today about the Fear the Walking Dead trailer for season 5 than I was about this entire episode, and that's pretty sad.